Hello everyone! Welcome back to my favorite game of all time! Man, I'm so glad to finally be playing this for you all, because this is an amazing game. Now, some people might disagree with this. They might say that, hey, this game is old, and it plays old, it has old ideas. To all those people, I say you have no idea what you're talking about. Except when it comes to the musical notes situation, that's kind of an issue. But aside from that, this game is amazing. It is very much what I expect in a 3D open world-ish platformer. Now then, we need to continue. Let's not continue. Let's instead head back to Banjo's house, because there was something I failed to point out when I started this playthrough. If you head into Banjo's house at the start of the game, before doing the puzzle in Treasure Trove Cove Sandcastle, you'll find a thing that Bottles will tell you, hey, you can't do this yet. And then Kazooie will call him... oh, what is it that she calls him? Oh, what are they called? Barrels. Barrel Boy. That's kind of an odd insult, considering Bottles has nothing to do with barrels. Kind of makes me wonder whether Donkey Kong or some other ape was going to be involved in this game, given the barrel reference and that this game was made by the same people who brought us the original Donkey Kong Country series. Anyway, the thing I'm talking about is right here in Banjo's house, which, by the way, is kind of interesting to explore. A very detailed home. Surprisingly, there is no extra Banjo sitting in here cooking or playing video games or sleeping. That would have certainly been interesting. Also interesting is that picture over there. That there is a level that does not appear in the game. Supposedly it's a scrapped level. Supposedly it's a level that got moved to Donkey Kong 64. I'm honestly not entirely sure. But the real thing we're coming in here for... yeah, let's move on to the thing we're really coming in here for. That would be this. Well, hey! You found my secret moving picture game. Complete this puzzle and you can win a mystery prize. It better be good, Soil Brain. Do I get some new moves? Maybe? Now watch this. Okay, so we got a puzzle game here. Use the control stick to move Banjo's hand. Press A to pick up and put down pieces. Basically instructions. I'm purposely slowing down the text, by the way, because I'm kind of curious about something here. I'm curious just how long the video playing goes on. So I'm kind of delaying the speed of the text to make it go on longer. Anyway, it's a pretty simple thing to do here. Just, first off, take all the side pieces, get them on the sides. Starting off, this is super simple, because they're basically all right where you need them to be. Random thing, I like how detailed Banjo's hand here. Got all those fingers and high polygons and that sort of thing. Though I can't help but notice, he's got less fingers than he did in the opening of the game. What's up with that? I do think it is at least a nice touch that he's got his claws. You gotta have those bear claws. They're delicious. And I could finish this right now, but like I said, I'm very curious how long this demo video actually goes on. Actually, I gotta say, this is actually a very impressive effect. Like, when it comes to the area on the outside, they're probably just putting a picture around the actual footage. But then you have all of these pieces that have the footage, and it's like, amazing that the Nintendo 64 could actually handle this. Having this video on, how many pieces are we talking about here? 5, 20? 20 pieces plus the background. And it handles it like a champ. Anyway, I'm just gonna kind of let this get down to 1 second for funsies. And I'm curious if at any point they run out of footage and it like resets, or maybe he just stops moving. Hey, you did it! It was easy, Beetle Breath. What do we win? Listen carefully, and I'll tell you. Use the tiles on the floor of the sandcastle in Treasure Trove Cove, basically. And type in Bottles Bonus 1, basically. So, the sandcastle, with all of its letters, is actually a place where you can put in cheat codes. Some of them better than others. For these mini-games here that we're doing, you can also try level 2 of my game if you like. Just look at the picture again. Basically, what these here are doing... That's wrong. It's basically Big Head mode. If you remember that being a thing back in the Nintendo 64 days, those were fun times. Not only days where you actually had cheat codes in the game and didn't have to pay for them like you do nowadays, but also, they were silly. I mean, we're talking big heads, not just big heads, but also there's gonna be like big hands and arms and stretching Banjo tall, stretching Kazooie. Fun stuff. But there's one cheat code in particular that I am especially interested in. And I am kind of sucking at this puzzle, it occurs to me. I need to kind of focus a little here so I don't run out of time for real. We're gonna go through all of these puzzles. Will take a little bit, but honestly, you don't have a good Banjo-Kazooie playthrough if you don't play through these puzzles too. They're like a regular... They're important. Even though they're not important, they're kind of important. And all of these places, by the way, during these puzzles, are places that we'll be visiting in the game. In fact, this place right here we'll be visiting later on in today's stream. You got all these sad bears. That's kind of sad. Also an ice chair. I don't care if you live in an igloo or a polar bear. I would probably want to have something a little more comfortable to sit on than ice. In fact, I bet you that's why all the little bears are sad. The best furniture that they could afford, made out of ice. That's kind of unfortunate. Gonna be even worse whenever global warming comes into the area. Then they won't have any furniture. Alright. Bottles bonus 2. And by the way, these are simple codes, and you can probably predict the next one is going to be Bottles bonus 3. But they do not work unless you've already completed the minigame. Why not try level 3 now? I think I will. And this is where things get really difficult, and I'm definitely going to need to be like in hyper-focus mode because we got rotating pieces now. And the first place that has rotating pieces is actually a place where it's got a really dark scene. So that makes it even more difficult. Although I seem to be doing pretty good. They actually have these puzzles again in the sequel, Banjo-Tooie. In fact, in that game, they're actually required. The good news is, as far as I remember, they do not actually rotate the pieces in that. Okay, that's the one that goes there, so I'll leave it be for the moment. And of course, while I'm putting the puzzle together, you can kind of watch Banjo fiddle around in the area. I can't help but notice that he just got thwacked by that bad guy there. That's kind of bad of him. In fact, he got it again. Almost makes me wonder if there was some way to make it so that you ran out of health. Like if I went outside and dropped myself down to 1 HP and then came back in here to do a challenge, and there's a bad guy in there and Banjo takes damage like this, will he actually die in this? I gotta try that now. I don't know if it's actually a thing, but I gotta try that. Also, hello there, Strike Back. Welcome to my stream. And also, thank you for retweeting my tweet announcement twice. I was slightly indecisive about what I was going to be doing today, which I will explain in a bit here. Okay, actually, as many hits as Banjo took in this, I think it's a safe assumption that he has unlimited health in these demos. Yeah, he's definitely got unlimited health. Go on, give level 4 a go. If I recall, there are either 5 or... no, not 5. 6 or 7 levels to this. That probably wasn't the best piece to start with. It is best to start with... well, for one thing, corner pieces are always ideal. Actually, here's a tip. It just occurs to me that all the pieces are shaped the same. So that'll be bottom right. So, on all the pieces, you have to align them so that the bottom and left are open, and the top and right are sticking out. So if you're not sure what direction a piece should be facing, just make sure to do that. So this is obviously going to be on the bottom. Gotta rotate this one. And this will be on the right side. This is a good observation to make, and it will make this a whole lot easier for me. And this one's already orientated properly. Once again, we're putting a puzzle together in an otherwise dark room. This is also going to wind up being the very last world of the game that we're looking at here. So, slight spoiler there. We're obviously inside some sort of tree-like place. Lots of wood. And I believe there was a squirrel in here, nomming on some food. Oh wow! Hi there, Dutch Power Creations! I kinda figured you'd show up over one of my RPG Maker streams, but not one of my Banjo-Kazooie streams. How awesome of you to show up. Why are you so stuck? Are you like out of sync or something? You shouldn't be out of sync. I'm playing on the actual original Nintendo 64. And I was saying that just as Dutch Power Creations was asking me. Yes, I'm playing on an actual Nintendo 64. Hey, level 5 is waiting for you. Well, let's not make it wait any longer. Random thought. I'm kinda glad that this game does not give you instructions every time you start a new level. If this were a modern game, I feel like that would totally be a thing and it would be super annoying. But back in the Nintendo 64 games, tutorials were not as overused as they are nowadays. Let's see here. Indeed. Kinda convenient that these puzzles are not bigger than they actually are. Only 20 pieces? That is not difficult to handle. Now, imagine if this was more like a real puzzle. All of a sudden, we've got 90 seconds to put together a puzzle that consists of 1,000 pieces. And in this case, they wouldn't be all aligned the same. Tell you what, Banjo-Kazooie is a 10-hour game. If we had to deal with a puzzle like a real one, it would take 10 hours just to deal with the puzzle. Dutch Power Creations just reminded me that Banjo-Kazooie has the whole first world as a tutorial. Well, yeah, Spiral Mountain, that sort of thing. But at least with that, it's actually entertaining to go through. Got some witty dialogue. Well, maybe not so much witty, but some insult slinging, which is always fun to watch. Interesting. That's supposed to be an exit there. You're supposed to be able to go through it, but I guess for the demo, it's disabled. I am learning some things about these puzzles. Just one more level left, guys. Naturally, for the final puzzle, they're gonna make things scary. They even got ghosts. Oh, I see. That's the very bottom there. Alright. No, this will be on the top somewhere. Right here. By the way, the world that is being displayed right now, I know it's hard to see, but trust me, it's gonna be an awesome world. It's got a great Halloween aesthetic to it. And I don't mean just having ghosts, I mean the entire level is, like, wonderful. Not the piece I intended to grab, but sure. And this will be the top right. And this will be right here. I've got this. Did I just got... Oh, I grabbed that piece again. I kind of want to save the bottom right for last each time. That way I can kind of have it sitting ready to place down at the last second without obscuring what is going on screen. I've always wanted to have these demo puzzle things completely on camera, and then I can like watch it someday and see, oh, so that's what Banjo was doing this entire time I was focusing on the puzzle. Because I'm not really in a position to watch what's going on screen. Not until I'm ready to place down the last piece. And even then, I gotta keep an eye on that timer. Oh, I just remembered something. This right here. This. At some point during this demo, Banjo collects some musical notes, which is not a problem in this version of the game, but in the Xbox Live Arcade version, at least, you know how they fixed it so that musical notes you collect stay collected? Well, that apparently applies to that demo as well. But it doesn't count that you've got them. And as a result, they stay collected but don't count, which means that if you play that demo minigame puzzle challenge before completing the level that it was showing, it basically makes it so that the level is impossible to complete. And that is infuriating. Ha! Fooled you! I've got one really special prize left. Let's see you do this one, Featherface. I'm ready, Goggles. Here we go. Offhand, I'm not entirely sure what makes this one harder than the rest, but I do notice that I have a more strict time limit, so I need to kind of go into hyper-focus mode, because quite honestly, it would suck to do this one again. Heck, it would suck to do any of them again. It's like a minute wasted. Okay, let's focus on... Well, let's finish getting that piece down. Find the edges. Is that an edge? That's an edge. Go somewhere over here. Up here. Right there. Right there. 30 seconds. I can do this. I actually might have to redo this one. I don't have time to wait around for the puzzle to finish. I need to get this solved right now, basically. Okay. Made it in the nick of time. Hey, you must have cheated to do that. No way, Bug Slurper. Now, hand over the special prize. Once again, slowing down the dialogue so I can get the entire footage of what Banjo's doing here. Oh, very well. Enter the code Wishy-Washy Banjo for some good, clean fun. I get it. Here's a reminder of my secret codes. So basically, there they all are. And for certain, there are no more of these. So, with the codes taken care of, I need to make my way up to Treasure Trove Cove, the Sandcastle, and get these codes put in. But that'll take me a few minutes, so let's go ahead and head into my first break here. We will be right back. And when we come back, we're going to find out exactly what these codes are going to be doing for us. They're kind of silly. I mean, I already told you about the big head one, but that last one, that's the one I really wanted.